As we ease into the first few days of the new year, we're also welcoming a new generation of babies.
Gen Beta will replace Gen Alpha as our youngest cohort, growing up in a world of tech and AI. So how is it all going to shape up?
For more, we're joined by social demographer Dr. Claire Madden here in studio. Claire, there's now 7 generations alive at the same time. What's the purpose of all these groupings?
It can seem a little bit overwhelming and confusing, but really the purpose of generational theory is to help us better understand each other. So we've all grown up with different influences, technologies, global social world events, and what happens in your formative years really leaves an imprint on how you see the world. It affects your worldview. And so you think about how the baby boomers grew up compared to today's babies in the world, that they'll only know a world of AI and the like. So when you understand what shaped us, hopefully it can help bridge those differences rather than perhaps lead to frustrations in the workforce or in families when there are those differences.
Yeah, look, it's a very different world to their parents and what they grew up in. What are their defining features?
Well, with our new generation, they will only know a world of AI.
Gosh.
Isn't that phenomenal? And it will affect how they learn, how they are taught to think, their critical thinking skills. It will affect how they connect with one another, as well as delivery of healthcare services, so many things. They'll probably have companion robots at home. They'll have drones dropping their takeaway food to their front door, driverless cars dropping them around the place. So it's, again, a new world of technology that they'll experience.
It sounds like that could lead to Gen Beta being incredibly lazy, having AI do everything for them. Is there some good news in this? Could they perhaps be better at using digital? Could they have a better digital diet than, say, Gen Y and Gen Z?
I really think they will, because as a society we're learning what's the impact of these immersive technologies. So what's amazing is this new generation will be the children mostly of Gen Zs.
Right.
And Gen Zs were the first generation to experience social media in a significant way in their upbringing and all these things. And we're only now catching up with the research saying, oh, well, what was the impact of that? And as parents, I think that they will want to shape a different world for their babies. And so hopefully we'll have more balanced understanding of what a healthy digital diet really looks like.
Is there a healthy digital diet? And it is so different from the parents, and it is going to be a difficult one, I think, to connect. Now, we're back there again. Gen Alpha, well, they know how to work an iPad before they turned 1. Do you think Gen Beta will have a better digital diet?
Look, it will be interesting. I mean, even with the voice technology, I know little kids who ask, Alexa or whatever it is in their household to play the song again or to turn on the light switch or whatever. So these kids will grow up with this technology immersively in their world in a way that we've never seen before. But at the same time, we'll, as a society, need to teach them critical thinking and really navigating what is true in a world of artificial intelligence, with more sophisticated fake media, with all that's going to happen with this. Perhaps they will swing back to being the real generation, looking for truth, looking for what's real in a way where they won't just trust everything in the digital space in the same way.
Now, Claire, I understand there's been a bit of an uproar with the term beta being used. Why are people so concerned about using beta?
Yeah, so it's been just a flow-on in the Greek alphabet. We've had alpha, so it's moved on to the next letter. But in slang, it can also be a term to mean someone who is passive or someone who is weak in Gen Z slang. So it's getting a bit of pushback on that front. It's also a term we use when we're doing a software launch and it's like, oh, this will have bugs, this will have issues. And so we'll do the beta version or the beta version. And so I think that it's not necessarily being greeted with such positivity. But it's very likely that they'll get a different name in time. I think like millennials, they were named after growing up in the turn of the millennium. Baby boomers named with the post-war baby boom. So there will be different, no doubt a different label that we will give this generation.
It was measured that IQ, when they started measuring the human IQ, that was always on an incline, and there's actually been some form of a decline since Google search started. We don't remember phone numbers like we used to, and maps as well. We don't remember the roads. We used to have to try and look at it in the map and then memorise it, move it all through. So what about this generation? How are they going to rebrand themselves, and how will it, influence general thinking and memory set?
Yeah, the memory's been really interesting. I mean, we do have to remember about 1,000 passwords now, though, so that balances some of it out. But it's where, as older generations, we need to mentor and reflect on what society are we creating for these younger ones to grow up in, and what is it that we really want them to learn, and what are we going to model. So even face-to-face communication's been something the young generations have struggled with. But how are we doing that around the dinner table? Are we all on our devices, or are we teaching that? And so I think as a society, we need to look at, there will be some gaps if we just let technology run its course. We need to actually put in the human side, be intentional about what we're shaping into our next generations.
We have to be wise, that's what that sounds like.
And look, the future is up to Gen Beta. It's up to them how they decide to take this. And I'm sure in a few decades' time, we'll be having a whinge about Gen Beta like we do every generation.
And what's funny is Gen Zs will be managing them in the workplace. So that'll be fascinating to watch as well.
Dr. Claire Madden, thanks so much.